Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the United Way for our latest Manchester United news. Obviously, the title is Kane or Osimhen, Ten Hag's tricky pick. We're also going to talk about other bits of other bit of news as well. Bit about Mason Mount, bit about David Raya, who played for Brentford, who's a Brentford goalkeeper, and pretty much lots more. I mean, the main one is Rahul's already at that throne, is commenting Harry Kane for him. As you can see, so he wants Harry Kane. I mean, listen, let us know who you want and why. Harry Kane definitely seems to be the main kind of option, or the favourite, let's just say, for some Manchester United fans. And again, I can see why. He's a good player. I mean, he's not far off. He's not far from breaking the Premier League record. Obviously, what I mean by that is the goal scoring Premier League record. So that's obviously the reason. Obviously not the reason why, but Premier League experience. He is a good player, and Harry Kane is decent, and I can see why people want Harry Kane. I mean, obviously the question I want to ask before I start reading into a bit of news is, would you not mind either? Like, if we got even Osimhen, like, would you not mind, or would you still be a bit like, yeah, no, I'm not really happy about that deal, or would you be just like, can't complain? Because there are two good players. I mean, look at Osimhen and what he's doing for Napoli this season. He's literally flying on all cylinders. He's a smashing player. Like, I have to give it to him. And I mean, just reading down here, Harry Kane is Erik Ten Hag's prime strike target to reinforce the Man United attack in the summer. I mean, listen, I can see why. Is Ten Hag looking long term? If he's looking long term, and then he's obviously going to bring in Osimhen. But if he's looking at a player who can rely on, who has that experience. I mean, he's only 29 years of age. I know people want, because Osimhen obviously is younger than Harry Kane, so I know people will be looking in at that. But Ten Hag should be looking at it going, I need someone who has experience, as I said, and who knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. And Ten Hag, Harry Kane. Well, Ten Hag's hungry for a striker. I know we have Hag'S, but not saying Hag'S isn't good, but you know what I mean. Rahul says, I wouldn't be disappointed with Osimhen, but I think we can do better. Yeah, I mean, that's what many people are kind of saying, aren't they? A lot of people are saying that, Rahul, so you're not the only one. And I agree with you. I do agree. I mean, I like both. Harry Kane, obviously, I was looking at him the other day playing for Tottenham in the Champions League. I think it was against AC Milan. And, you can see that his time is up. And to be fair to you, I'd be very surprised if Harry Kane is still a Tottenham player next season, or even by the end of the summer, unless, I don't know, Harry Kane says, I want this much amount, and I also want to be a manager, like a really Kylian Mbappe, like he did to really PSG. But listen, if Harry Kane does want to leave Tottenham, will Real Madrid want to go in for him? Benzema, getting to that kind of age. Obviously, City got Haaland, so we're safe on that one. And trying to think of anything else. And where I think out of all the strikers, and Liverpool obviously got Nunes, so I could never see Harry Kane come to Liverpool anyways. But and Gakpo. So basically, of all the top teams you could say in the Prem, I think we're the team that is most desperate for a striker and needs a striker. Rahul says, I wouldn't be surprised if he says our Spurs. I mean, if they don't make Champions League football and they finish, I don't know, 6th or 7th, I actually will be surprised. But then again, you don't know about Harry Kane. I mean, he said, what was it, a year or two ago? He was like, if Tottenham don't make Champions League football, I'm going to leave. They didn't make Champions League football, and he still said so. Again, I can see that he loves Tottenham. He's played for them nearly all of his career, let's just say. And he's done well. He hasn't won trophies. I mean, that's the problem with Harry Kane being at Tottenham. Harry Kane likes trophies. I mean, I can't remember the last time Harry Kane won a proper trophy. I mean, you can see he's hungry for trophies, and for such a good player, he hasn't won a lot of trophies. Like, he's won a lot of awards for himself, but he hasn't won a proper award. An award that you look at and say, yeah, that's decent. That's decent. Uh, and again, a trophy Harry Kane's one of those players, but he should be winning Premier Leagues and FA Cups and Carabao Cups, and if you want to throw it in there, European competition, whether that's Europa League, Conference League, or Champions League. And what's going on at Tottenham this season as well? Don't seem to be going well. Conte, is he going to get the sack if things don't improve? It's gonna be a hard. The guy has done things in the past. He always prefers to stay at Spurs. But do you think that's a stupid decision for him to be making? Again, not a stupid decision, but is it a bit crazy for him to be making that because he is a good player, and Tottenham. It's like Tottenham are like a one-man team. Like you take Harry Kane out of that Tottenham team, Tottenham are nothing. Heung-min Son isn't having a good season. Let's be honest, Son isn't having a good season. And yeah, Son isn't having a good season. Kane's just having one of those seasons, isn't he? What else is there? Rahil says it. It is a stupid decision if he stays at Spurs. And yeah, I say this. I'm stuttering now. Again, as I said, it'd be a stupid decision. But would you be surprised if they make Champions League football? I mean, they can't win a trophy this season. They're knocked out of everything. They're not going to win the Premier League. We're not going to win the Premier League, so there's no chance Tottenham are going to win the Premier League. And they're knocked out of the FA Cup. Obviously, we won the Carabao Cup. Champions League they're knocked out of, and just fight. Basically, they're fighting for top four. They'd want to hope, like Liverpool and Newcastle drop points this weekend, and they can kind of stay up, because I feel like if Tottenham don't, he'd play Nottingham Forest. It'd be a typical thing it'd be a typical Tottenham thing now if they went and lost. It'd be really, really such a Tottenham thing if they went and lost that game. It'd be stupid, but I won't be surprised if he stays at Spurs regardless of Champions League football, says Rahil. Yeah. That's that again. As I said, I would be surprised. And then there's just that thing in the back of your head where back of your mind where you're kind of going, Harry Kane, like he's a weird individual, Harry Kane. He actually is such a weird individual. And as I said, it's Harry Kane, isn't it? Tottenham love him, and is it one of those things where Tottenham just hope that Harry Kane basically stays? Like, I mean, will he be looking elsewhere? Will he be looking at elsewhere? I mean, will he be looking outside Champions League or Premier League? Will he be, is he looking? Is he that player where he, does he want to play against Tottenham? But as I said, and as Rahil said, as Rahil said, not me, it's Harry Kane, and you just cannot be surprised on what Harry Kane decisions are. And yeah, it makes no sense. It makes no sense if you just stay at Tottenham. But as I said, I wouldn't at all. I'd be thinking kind of why, but then I'd be like, well, it's Harry Kane, innit? So Spurs will definitely do their best to keep him. I don't think he has the mentality to take a new challenge, to be honest. I mean, if he wants to win, again, not trying to blow me on trumpet, but even take Manchester United over. But if he wants to win trophies, he has to leave Tottenham. If he wants to win trophies, he has to leave Tottenham. Tottenham bought a good few players in the summer transfer window. Brought in Conte, And I thought, okay, Tottenham could maybe do the business this season. Not do the business, but improve and impress. It's just typical Tottenham. They're not having a good season. Richarlison saying it now, and so's Antonio Conte. And I think they're what, fourth, fifth. They go and beat Chelsea, who I know aren't having a good season, but you might be on a bit of a roll now after beating Dortmund. But it'd be just not. It'd be just mad for him to stay. It'd be mad for him to stay. But that's what I'm saying. Will he want to leave? Like, will he leave Tottenham? Will he stay? Will it be one of those kind of things where like Harry Kane? I don't know. Harry Kane's not the player that would ask for a lot. That's the thing. Like, would he be that kind of like Mbappe done when he was threatening to leave PSG, and then next of all the fuckers he's literally Mbappe is really the manager and that. And if he stays, he stays. But I'll be very surprised. I actually will be surprised. Not totally surprised, but I'll be a bit like, fair enough. Like, but as I said, it's Harry Kane. But I'm gonna read through a lot more as well, because there's lots to talk about. Manchester United intend to sell Anthony Martial in the summer. I can't complain. Martial can be a good player, but too injury prone. I think he will stay. He clearly doesn't have a hunger for trophies. It'd be stupid of him to stay. But anyways, Martial, Man United intend to sell Martial, says Samuel Luckhorst, in the summer. Too injury prone. How much are you looking to get for Martial these days? 10, 15 mil? 20, 25 million? Could you get that amount for? If you can get 25 to 30 million for Martial and he's injury prone, call that date out robbery, because you just had to rob him, whoever does. But listen, Martial can be a good player, and Martial had a good pre-season, and then ever since he's picked up he's picking up too many injuries, and there are injuries where you're looking at going, how are you injured? Like, they're one of those kind of injuries. Like, how are you injured? Like, it makes no sense. Like, he came on against, I think it was Nottingham Forest in the second leg of the Carabao Cup, and he came on coming back from injury. It was his first game back from injury, and then he scored a goal that was injured. So, what is 10, 15 million to the Saudis? That's if they even buy us. Yeah, that is true. I mean, it's an interesting, but I just don't know. Qatar, you meant. Yeah, that's it. Will they even buy us now? Will they even buy us? It's going to be interesting to see if they buy us now. I'd sell him, to be honest. I'd sell Martial. I know people are like, keep him. Like, you might as well just not have a striker on the bench. I mean, Rashford's played a lot of times this season, striker. Weghorst, obviously, as you'd expect, because that's his main position. And, as I said, it'd be best to get rid of him. He's too injury prone. And if he was in Ten Hag's plans, I don't see why he'd be in Ten Hag's plans now, because he's always injured. We said that last season, Martial, but he has one more chance. And don't get me wrong, it's not like he doesn't want to play for us, but it's hard to see. I would personally get rid of him. Martial can be a good player, but too injury prone from him. I can't do it. I can't do this injury prone, lad. It's just getting fed up. Like, 1 minute you're like, oh, Martial's back, and next fire, like, no, he's out. If we get Qataris, I would keep him on a lowered wage. Again, Martial probably will want to stay, but it'd be hard to, you'd have to, it'd be a bench player, and then you probably will have to bring in an Osimhen or a Harry Kane. Either. But then you send Weghorst back to Burnley. I mean, here's a question I want people to answer: who would you keep, Martial or Weghorst? I want Obviously when you do answer that question, let me know why you would keep, Martial or Weghorst. It's actually a tough one because you know, injury prone Martial against passionate Weghorst. Again, Weghorst isn't your striker that would finish. He not saying he's like Timo Werner, but in fairness, when he does score, like it means a lot to him, which is always nice to see. It would like if I scored at Old Trafford. Like if I scored at Old Trafford, I'd probably have the same reaction that Weghorst had last night. I'd be crying and I'd feel $1 million. Pressure off. And it's always nice to see a player like Weghorst put the ball in the back of the net because he had a good few chances last night as well, in fairness to him. And he did score, but it was offside. I think if you don't remember, it was like Fred kind of was offside position. Fred with today, good cross by the way, but it was offside. So unfortunately, it was disallowed. Had two good chances. He had about two, three, four chances maybe. But when he gets a chance, he can finish, but they don't happen often. And again, who would you keep? Rahul throws a comment in. He says, "I would keep Martial over Weghorst. Martial still has quality, and with reduced game time, it could suit him. Weghorst isn't really good enough even for the bench." That's the thing. People have different opinions about this. To be fair, people have different opinions about this, and I can see why. I can see why people are saying, keep Weghorst, who can, he's passionate and he fights for the team, and basically gives his all. Again, he's not the player that you'd rely on. Like, he's not like you can't turn around and say Weghorst is gonna have a good game, and you can see he's gonna be a promising player. Again, this is Ten Hag. You know what I mean? Ten Hag's a weird manager. I like Ten Hag, but he's just one of those managers where you keep Weghorst. Or will you keep both of them? Isn't McTominay passionate as well? Would you keep him? Is McTominay passionate? I wouldn't keep him, passionate or not. Listen, I like Weghorst's passion, but he's not consistent enough. And as I said, he had a few chances last night. Is he coursed? Is he coursed? I doubt it. But again, if I'm sitting here and I'm looking at if we want to compete for titles and Champions Leagues, for the top trophies, just trophies in general, I'd sell Weghorst. If I had I'd sell Weghorst and Martial and bring in Kane, Osimhen, one of those two, and then a young striker like a Evan Ferguson or a Benjamin Sesko. But then I'd say that you might as well just keep bloody. You might as well keep. You might as well just keep Martial or Weghorst, because can you rely on Evan Ferguson? He was Irish, by the way, and I am Irish. I'm not trying to be biased towards that. It's one of those kind of things. We have a comment in. Not sure whether you're a rival fan or not, but we welcome. Actually, yeah. Anyways, Nunez will tear up the Prem. Says Aditya 45A. Not gonna say he won't, but he is a good player. But as a Manchester United fan, I hate him. But yeah, hopefully our Kane or Osimhen can maybe make him look like shite. But yeah, besides Nunez, there's also a lot of stuff in there to talk about. What's this? Victor Osimhen remains of interest to Man United. Well, Ten Hag is also an admirer of Gonçalo Ramos and Mohamed Kudus. Gonçalo, I think it's Gonçalo or Gonçalo Ramos for Benfica. He is a good player. I watched him in the World Cup. I think Ronaldo got benched, and it was against Switzerland. And I think he got like a hat trick, maybe. Good. He is a good player. He's a good player, Ramos. But you're not going to get him for 10 million. You're not going to get. I don't think you're going to get Ramos or Mohamed Kudus for cheap. I mean, is Mohamed Kudus not like a cam? Is he not more of a cam than? Is Mohamed Kudus not more of a cam than striker? I mean, again, Ten Hag's will look at cam as well. I mean, his contract expires in what 2025. He's worth 20 million euros. What just single transfer market? It really annoys me. Like, I've had to get in a stat up here, and it's not letting me. Literally, only if I could share the screen, I would. But how are you feeling after this? I don't know, mate. I mean, we're 7 points ahead of you, so like, I mean, best luck against Bournemouth tomorrow because they might make you look like shite. We are actually now 7 up. We're 7 ahead of you. We are 7 ahead of you. Yeah, you beat us 7-0. You got 3 points. Come on. Seriously, we're 7 points ahead of you. We're going to finish ahead of you as well. So, it just goes to show how shit our season's actually. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would slag you as well. I would slag you if we beat you, Liverpool 7-0. But I wouldn't go on about it for a week because we won a trophy and we actually are having a good season. Unlike Liverpool, where basically that was your cup final and that's the only thing you can rely on and celebrate on. So yeah, best luck against Real Madrid as well because they're going to slap you over 7-2 on aggregate. Don't you worry, your time will come. I mean, anyways, back Kudu stats this season. He's got 10 goals, 23 appearances, 10 goals, and 1 assist for Ajax. He can be at the forward. His height. I mean, the problem is he tall? Like, I know we look at Wakehorse, who's tall as well, but like, I'm looking at it. He is. It's not even bloody letting me know, to be fair. No comment, mate, on Real Madrid. No comments, mate, on Real Madrid. Fair enough. But yeah, you see Lewis 5-2 against them, so we all get our fair share of beatings. If you get new owners, we can buy 10 Giancarlo Ramoses. Please protest against Ratcliffe and the Elliott Group. I don't want the Elliott Group coming into this club. If it was between Ratcliffe and Elliott, I'd go Ratcliffe. But yeah, it's again, to any Arrival fan, I'm all up for the band. This is what you do. You come in, you get slagged. I can give the band back. John, I like giving the band away. I like the band, but sometimes it can just be too much when it's a week old. But Giancarlo Ramos is just looking up here on the old transfer market. He's 21 years of age. He's worth 40 million euros. If you're definitely looking for a long term here, man, long term with them, yeah, always 40 million. This is for transfer market, but should we settle for budget players? I honestly don't know. I don't know. I mean, Carlo Ramos, budget players is right, though I do agree with you on that one. I mean, Carlo Ramos, this season in the Portuguese league, he's 19 appearances, 15 goals and 4 assists. He can, striker's his main position. 40 million though. Ooh, I mean, 40 mil. I mean, fucking hell, like 40 million. Like, I mean, Harry Kane, I think his contract expires next season, doesn't it, at Tottenham? Next season or this season, I'm not too sure. I think it's the next season. Next summer his contract expires. I think it is next season, is it? Harry Kane, 29 years of age, he's worth 90 million. I mean, now you don't get strikers cheap these days. Like, let's just be honest here. Let's throw the facts. His contract expires in 2024. Yeah, 90 million, 18 goals for Tottenham this season, 26 appearances, 2 assists. Um, I mean, Rahul, we'll have to get you on a show. I really want to talk to you about this, face to face, because what we asked, Tom, Ryan, the other lads, and they want Kane. 25 mil plus add-ons for Ramos. Would you take that though? Like 25 million, then if you're looking at a Ramos, you know, who are you looking at? Like, I mean, you're not going to, it doesn't matter who we get. If it's Kane or Osimhen, you're not going to get them for cheap. You're not. If Harry Kane's worth 90 million as of now. I mean, you could get him for about 60, 70. It depends. It depends, because Tottenham aren't going to let basically that number one striker live, just like that. They're not. And Daniel Levy, who's just such an oddball, like, it's going to be an interesting one. But like, if you're looking at this long term, I would have to go back and view Ramos again. Unfortunately, seeing him, I don't really fancy him. I mean, the only game I can remember him is when he came on, when he played against Switzerland in the World Cup, and he got like a hat trick, I think it was. He got a hat trick. So that's the only game I remember. He is a good striker, mind you. But I mean, I know, look at Darren Núñez. You know what I mean? It took him a while to kind of settle in at Liverpool, didn't it? It took him a while to settle in at Liverpool. I mean, I'm just looking at Victor Osimhen here, because I am going to come to a conclusion on who I'd like, to be fair. So according to what's this transfer market, he's worth 70 million euros. 21 appearances in Serie A this season, 19 goals and 4 assists. Centre forward, as you'd expect. I think Chelsea and Arsenal are interested in him as well, but we're interested in him, if that makes sense. Marcus Thuram and Jonathan David are good shouts. They are good shouts, but Jonathan David isn't tall, and Thuram, listen, for me, we're going to see Kane or Osimhen. For me, I'd be surprised if we don't, but for me, I feel like we're going to see a Kane or an Osimhen at the club this season or in the summer. I can see us signing one of those two. Whoever it is, I just hope it works out well. I mean, I still have lots of stuff to read about as well. I mean, I don't think we're going to get Goncalo Ramos and, an Osimhen or a Harry Kane. You know what I mean? It depends who the owners are and how much we're given as well. I mean, I'm trying to look at a bit more news as well. I mean, Ten Hag, just reading stuff here, Ten Hag's main kind of option is he wants, I think he's probably looking at more of Harry Kane. Kane at 90 mil. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, is it worth it? Like, for past 29, again, he has the experience. Like, Harry Kane is a good player. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say he isn't, because I'd only sound stupid. He is a good player. Again, as Rahul also said, is he able for a new challenge? Is he able for a new challenge? Is he able for a new challenge? I mean, 90 mil is a bit steep, but for a good top class striker, is what you have to pay. And then, you have who was it? You have Osimhen, who's worth 70 million. So Napoli aren't going to let Osimhen go just like that, and they're not going to get Kane go just like that. He is worth 40 mil, sales, Rahul. 40, 50, 60 mil for me. I'd say 60 million. 60, 50, 60. If we can get him for 40 million, if we can get Harry Kane for 40 million, happy days. That's good. 29 years of age. Not sure when he's 30, to be honest with you. But again, some people are looking at, Kane, he's nearly 30. And we've had strikers in their 30s before, and some of them haven't really gone well. Will they be able for Ten Hag style play? Because again, even though Ten Hag signed a good few players in the summer, have we properly seen Ten Hag ball yet? We've seen glimpses of it, but if he brings in the players that he wants, we could then eventually see it. But I still kind of what's what I'm trying to say? I'd still again I'm gonna back Ten Hag. Whoever Ten Hag brings in, Ten Hag could bring in Odin Gallo, Marouane Fellaini. He could bring the band back. You could bring in you could play Phil Jones striker and I'd still back him. That's literally where I stand with Ten Hag. I mean, Eric Ten Hag's priority is the recruitment of a top class centre forward. To fill the glare void in that position, Harry Kane and Victor Osimhen are leading targets. Eric Ten Hag wants another pedigree midfielder like Frankie de Jong, Jude Bellingham, and Moises Caicedo all on his radar. He also admires Mohamed Kudus and Mason Mount. Mohamed Kudus. That's a good question. I want to ask you that question. Not a good question. Good question coming from me. Who would you like? Mason Mount or Mohamed? No, right. Mason Mount or Mohamed Kudus? That's one question. And the other question is, who would you like us to sign in that midfield? Who would you like Manchester United to sign in that midfield? Doesn't matter who it is. Just throw it at me. Just throw it at me and I'll react. That's all I'm going to do. But while you do that, I am going to give me opinions at the end on who I'd like. Manchester United scouted Diogo Costa, the striker, the goalkeeper, Diogo Costa. Although Ten Hag likes Brentford's David Raya. David Raya, Brentford goalie. I mean, listen, it's Ten Hag, isn't it? I have to back him. I mean, not his kind of distribution last night. Yeah. After looking at the Hayes distribution last night, he scared me. He actually really scared me. The Hayes distribution last night was poor. And again, we always said that the Hayes distribution isn't good, but I always said that he's either Alisson or Ederson's. He is he's been around a long time. You know what I mean? He's been around a long time at Manchester United, and he's used to he's not used to this playing out from the back stuff. He just likes to get that ball forward, and when he does play out from the back, it doesn't go wrong. We've seen it against Brighton at the start of the season when we lost 2-1. Then we definitely seen it against Brentford when we lost 4-0. So we cannot play out from the back with the head. So if that is Ten Hag's plans on playing the head of playing like the player from the back, because Martinez likes to drop the ball forward. Again, it depends who Ten Hag brings in the summer. Whether that's if he brings in maybe another defender, will he bring in a right back, then a goalie? It depends, because Ten Hag's system, it's mad. It is mad. But if Ten Hag wants to play from the back, you have to get a new goalie, because, as I said, De Gea can't play from the back. He's not that goalkeeper. We've seen it last night. He kept giving the ball away, whereas kept kicking the ball out when he tried to kick a forward or player from the back. It just doesn't go. It just does not go. And I like where Manchester United are going, even though we lost 7-0. Take that out, but I like where we're going, because we responded well last night after that 7-0 hammering against Liverpool. So, again, if it was between David Raya and Diogo Costa, I'd go Diogo Costa. I prefer him more, but it's Ten Hag. It's Ten Hag. He likes David Raya. I mean, I'm just looking at here. On transfer market, he's worth 22 million. 8 clean sheets so far this season, 32 goals, 24 appearances. So, I mean, if he's conceded 32 goals this season, De Gea has conceded. De Gea has conceded. De Gea is 15 million. De Gea has conceded what? It's not even actually showing me. 7 goals. So he's conceded a lot more goals, and he's had less clean sheets. He's 4 clean sheets. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with him. Will he get a new contract? You know, Ten Hag's not gonna drop him on Sunday and play Tom Heaton there or Jack Butland. He's not gonna do that, and I hope he doesn't. But if he does bring in a new goalkeeper, does that mean then De Gea goes into that back? Will he be our backup goalkeeper, or will he just ship him off elsewhere? Rahil, the midfielders. It's hard to say Mount as of now, but I could change my mind on that. In terms of midfielder, I would take Lamer. Big fan of Lamer, Rahil. I mean, I think some are gone. You've seen to be a big fan of Lamer. I think he played for Leipzig. Lamer, I think he plays for Leipzig. Could be wrong. It's hard to. I mean, I'd Mason Mount probably, yeah. But again, he's played Mohamed Kudus plays for Ajax. He was there when Ten Hag was a manager, so will Ten Hag want to go to a player that knows his style of play? Again, I don't think you get him for cheap either. He also says about the goalie, wouldn't mind either of them. It's hard to pick between Ray and Costa. We're just about pick Costa. Yeah. That's it. I mean, he's worth what? If Ray is worth 22 million, if De Gea is worth, if Ray is worth 22 mil. Again, I don't really care about the price target. Diogo Costa is worth 45 million. So if Ten Hag probably was going to go for someone, he seems to be a big fan of Raya, and I mean, it's hard to know, isn't it? Because goalkeepers, they're weird. Like, it's weird. And again, I don't really watch much of Brentford. Why are we getting rid of De Gea, though? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't say get rid of De Gea. I just said, will we keep him as a backup? I mean, I think the reason why we're getting rid of De Gea, or why people want to get rid of De Gea, is because his distribution isn't good. And, people are looking at Alisson and Ederson, and who else is up there, Alisson, yeah, basically, if I can think of two, Alisson, Ederson, they play from the back well. You think Alisson has two assists so far this season? But that's Alisson, I mean? They have a bit of a team about them. And they have what they want, basically. Obviously being 7 points behind Man United isn't one of those, but I like De Gea, but again, his distribution is poor. He had a bad game last night. But if we do bring in a Dave or Diogo Costa, what happens to De Gea? Do we sell him, or does he just be the backup goalkeeper? I mean, if I had to pick between goalies, I'd go Diogo Costa, and midfielders. Ooh. I mean, I don't want De Jong since he kind of made us look like shite last season. Being a bit greedy, even though he didn't want to play in the Europa League, but still we knocked him out of the Europa League. It makes no sense. And Jude Bellingham, yeah, he seems to be a bit of a Liverpool fanboy, doesn't he? So don't want him. But if I had to pick between two, I'd go Jude. And Caicedo extended his contract, I think, at Brighton. But it is tough between De Jong and Bellingham. Bellingham's exciting, but it's hard to know. He was one of the last people on the list to get rid of. I mean, there's Maguire there. Again, if you had that's probably your list, but I wouldn't sell De Gea. I'd bring in a goalkeeper and I'd keep De Gea as backup if that was something we do. Because if Ten Hag has that kind of system, style of play about him, he likes to play from the back, Well, then De Gea can't play from the back. Then you're gonna have to bring in a new goalie. But I wouldn't look at him and say sell him. Like get him out. Wouldn't do that. So how Manchester Telegraph Ducker said Manchester United would fund a move for a goalkeeper as well is unclear, particularly as Eric Ten Hag wants to strengthen the fullback position. I mean, with the way Wan-Bissaka's performing and all that, it's hard to know. I mean, do you think De Gea will stay as a backup? Good question. Will De Gea stay as a backup? Okay. To be fair, probably if we were to sign a goalkeeper, I'd say probably for a season to see how the goalkeeper we bring in does. It depends. If he brings in the David Roy, I think he'll keep De Gea. If Diogo Costa, he's worth more. I would expect more game time than Raya, I'd feel. Well, then obviously, he'd probably stay for a year. He'd probably stay for a year and see how things plan out. But again, at the moment, it's hard to know what the story is there. As well, he'd probably stay for a year if you bring in a goalie. I'd actually hate to see De Gea go. He's been at the club for a while. I know his distribution is poor, but with a bit like, he's had good moments as well. But then again, typical United, typical fan base. And De Gea has one poor game last night. I know his distribution is poor. You can't take that away from De Gea. His distribution it's not poor, but it's not up there with the other goalkeepers you see in the Prem. But he has is the Dean Henderson deal permanent? I think it's a loan to buy, but I'd sell Dean Henderson as well because I think he did an interview with TalkSport there not too long after he left to go on loan to Nottingham Forest, and he's basically kind of standing on us, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'd sell Dean Henderson, and if that's the thing is, if we do bring in a goalie, like I just get that, like even now I would like Diogo Costa, but I have that feeling he'd bring in David Raya from Brentford. I just have that feeling, to be brutally honest with you. But yeah, if we do bring in a goalie, depends who it is. De Gea potentially could it stay as a backup, but or else he could ease the new goalie in. Because De Gea has experience, but again, if I had to pick, it would be Costa, Diogo Costa. I pick as goalie, and striker. I actually can't decide on a striker who would like, so I'm gonna leave that for another show. Me head says Kane, but me heart says Osimhen. So it's hard to know. But listen, that's been a bit of a show, a bit of a nice, exciting show, a bit of a relaxing show. I enjoyed that show. Do you know what? I actually enjoyed that show. Enjoy the old chat. Like, comment also, and hit that subscribe button. We have the preview for the Southampton game tomorrow, and we obviously have the watch along on Sunday. And there's a new show coming on Monday. It's a weekly show. I'm actually not doing it, surprisingly enough. So it's someone else doing it. So have your guesses. It's an exciting show. And will I break the news? We'll break it on Instagram. So follow us on Instagram and check out, follow all our socials. You can see a few of them on the graphic. Most of our news there. Leo does FIFA streams on that, and the news does be on Twitter and the United Way Instagram as well. And follow we have a TikTok and a few other socials in the description as well. And yeah, hope everyone enjoys the games on the weekend. Hopefully Liverpool lose. And yeah, I really enjoyed that show. Thanks everyone for watching it. Enjoy your weekend, and speak to you all on the next one. And also, please, I beg, well, I don't beg, but please share our especially our YouTube around, because everything's going well. So thanks everybody for watching, and if you want to talk about Manchester United or whatever, DM us on Instagram or whatever. We have people already doing that already these past few days, especially people want to talk about the Liverpool game. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll speak to you all in a bit. Enjoy your weekend.